Spread your wings and fly, go!
Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again. Today, people, today we are here for Kamen Revice episode 16, and a lot happened in this episode. It went kind of fast. It wasn't all that rushed. It didn't feel rushed to me, but we opened in the doors for this new arc that we are about to go into, and also foreshadowing a lot of other things that are about to happen, especially with that weird family that is friends with the Igarashi family. Yeah, it's foreshadowing some stuff with that, and when we see Sakura kind of go on that little journey, but that's why episode kind of ends off. But in this episode, we see them trying to getting mom to understand and come to terms with the fact that her kids are Kamen Riders. Her kids are basically heroes, and they are the only line of defense, well, the strongest line of defense against the Deadmens right now, and she has to come to terms with that. In this episode, she gets to see her kids basically gets to see her kids, and she gets to see them as they take down some Deadmens, and she's actually pretty hyped about it. Like, she sees them and she's cheering all of them on and stuff like that. And Revice is trying to get trying to get cheered on by mom, but she's not giving it to him. She is, but it's like very somber, you know. But basically, this episode we see that basically starts off from last episode. We see that they try to arrest the rest of the Deadmens, and they try to arrest the rest of the Deadmens, and we see that Julio basically gets into it with Ortega, and we get a little bit of some lines from Julio saying that she saved me when I was at my lowest, and Ortega really ain't hearing none of that. He tries to kill. He basically almost kills Julio, and when he does, you see that Julio ends up dropping two vice stamps, and they try to basically arrest the rest of the other Deadmens, but Aguilera basically gave the other Deadmens a chance to escape. So right now we just only got 4 Deadmen. Yeah, right now we just only have 4 Deadmen, and yeah, we have our main 3. And then we have the Chameleon Deadmen in this, but they basically use that opportunity. We see that Ortega and the Chameleon end up using that opportunity that Aguilera spazzes out as an opportunity to escape. So we see Aguilera's demon form in this episode. It's called. She used the B vice stamp called Queen B, and she's a bee. She's like a big bee, and she actually looks pretty cool. I didn't really think that Aguilera would be something like that. I didn't really think she'd be like a bee or like any type of bug or anything like that. I really didn't see her as like, I saw her maybe like as a cat or something like that, but hey, it is what it is. And we also talk about how, like, you know, Aguilera was our friend, or like Julio was like, Aguilera was our friend, and you did all this stuff to her and whatever, and then, you know, Ortega, I guess Ortega just has, I guess he has like all this outside or inside information about how maybe Aguilera was just told all her life that she's meant to be the bride to gift, and turns out, like, I guess not, because he's like, she was just a puppet. Ortega says she was just a puppet to strengthen the cult and stuff like that, and bring gift back and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess that probably hit maybe kind of hard for her, and seeing that Julio was like the only person all the Deadmen that was trying to defend her, I guess that was it. But we see that when she spazzes out, she ends up her and Julio end up escaping, and then Ortega and Chameleon end up also escaping. So we see that everybody they all went their separate ways and stuff like that, and we see that their dad is like hurt their back, go back to the bathhouse, and dad is basically strained his back and stuff like that, and Hiromi comes in, and Hiromi's like, yeah, we can, the Phoenix Hospital can take care of that for you. And note, that's going to be important later. Their dad went to the hospital and they get his X-rays. That's going to be very important later. So we see that Hiromi has become the new commander of Phoenix and stuff like that, and we see that he is very tired, or like he's very tired, and like he's worn out from becoming, transforming into his rider form. And I wonder why. That's even happening. Like what is happening to Hiromi? I feel like Hiromi doesn't have a demon, so maybe Hiromi does have a demon. He did have a demon. Like, we saw that demon, like, in the first episode, but it was destroyed. So, I'm wondering, does that have anything to do with that? Does that have anything to do with, since he is a writer, he's been transforming since his demon was destroyed, maybe that's having a strain on his body, because maybe having a demon, well, for these writers, having a demon inside you, or can help regulate the driver's powers and stuff like that. That's what I'm really thinking. Also, whenever Hiromi is transformed, he's in his writer form, he fights really hard. Like, he pulls out all the stops. Like, he fights hard. So that could also have something to do with it. But personally, I think, this is my theory, but I think that because he doesn't have a demon, it's putting him transforming into his writer form is maybe putting a strain, or a harder strain, on his body, and maybe even killing him. So yeah, but he's worn out. And also it's really good that he's the new director of Phoenix. So I wonder, that happened kind of fast. So, that happened kind of fast. I guess maybe because he was kind of like a higher up at one point, like in the beginning, and he did get demoted, but at the same time he was a higher up, so it makes sense. It somewhat makes sense of him like becoming the director of Phoenix. So after we see Hiromi come to the bathhouse, and he tells the mom and dad that your kid, like we need your kids, like we need them, they're the strongest line of defense, stuff like that. And the rest of them basically say that, mom, like, yeah, we beat the Deadmans, but they're still out there. We haven't destroyed them yet, and if we go ahead and take them out, we could, finally, everybody could finally live in peace. Like, we could, live in peace, and everything would be okay. So we still, we still need to fight these things. So mom and dad accepts, and they go, Hiromi, please take care of our kids, stuff like that. And we go to a scene where we see George he's analyzing and like trying to, he's analyzing the gift statue, and he finds out that the whole statue is just basically stone in general. But he finds out that it does emit some kind of vibration when I hit it with other vibrations. So it has like a heart. It has a heartbeat. The vibrations like sound like a really loud heartbeat. So that's there. And also, we see that we see the family, everybody, they're shopping for food and stuff like that, so they have dinner. And we see that, I'm getting ahead of myself. We see what our 4 dead men are doing. We see that Ortega is still teaming up with Chameleon, and we see Julio is with Aguilera, and she's pissed off and stuff like that. And she's basically, I guess she's getting used to her new demon form, Queen Bee, and she's like raging out and turning into it over and over again. Maybe she's training right now to learn how to use it better. I guess maybe it was her first time becoming a demon, showing a demon form, because we never up to this point never saw Aguilera's demon form. So personally, I feel like Aguilera is just straight up human. That's how I feel. I feel like Aguilera is just like straight up human. I feel like she was just a little girl that became a part of this, a part of the gift cult, and she was always human. She was never a demon. That's probably why we never saw her turn into her demon form, but we always saw Ortega and Julio turn into their demon forms. So maybe that's also something that's out there as well. So she's in this form, and we see Julio. He comes up, and Julio's like telling her, he's being his super simp self again, and he's like, yeah, like please, like, smile and stuff like that. She's pissed, and she gets ready. She's like, I don't want to be here anymore. Why do we have to stay? How long we want to sit here and be here and stuff like that? And he's like, we have to hide here because we don't stand a chance against them right now. We go in there, we're gonna die and stuff like that. And he ended up giving her suitcase and outfit and stuff, and she's like, I'm about to change now, so get out. And he leaves, and that's it. We don't see them for the rest of the episode. After that, Ortega and Chameleon are talking, and he asks him, like, how do you feel? Like, I see you are, he's still in the ex-commander of Phoenix's form, and Ortega's like, hey, you must really like that form. And he's like, yeah, I do. And he says, this form just feels right, it just feels like it's me. I've said goodbye to my old self. And Ortega's like, do you ever feel like, do you remember your old self? And he's like, yeah, I do, but every time I looked in the mirror, I just want to break it. So Chameleon really hates his original self. We haven't seen his face yet, but I guess he really hates his original self. So they basically come to a agreement to team up with each other, and Ortega's like, I just want to make the world mine. And then Chameleon's like, well, I'd like to help you with that. So what happens is they basically make a plan to procure the Revice driver. So they're basically going to steal the Revice driver. So after that, we go back to when the family is shopping for food and stuff like that, and we see that Chameleon ends up kidnapping Mom, and he pulls her into like a room, and then he transforms into her. And when he transforms into her, he tries to pretend to be her and stuff like that, and she grabs Iki and stuff like that, and turns out Iki and everybody else already knew this was even going to happen, and they set him up. So she takes him outside as she tries to stab him, and he turns around. And he said, and turns around, knocks him down, and says, "Oh, you think I fall for that again?" And turns out we got a huge big ambush going on, and we get a trip. We get the sibling hitchin again, and Mom is sitting there watching and stuff like that. She sees everybody transform, and she starts seeing everybody start fighting and stuff like that. She's cheering all three of them on, all separately, and then Vice is like, "Hey, Mom, check me out." And then you see Vice end up doing some stuff, and she's like, good job, Vice. Don't give up. Stuff like that. And it's like, he's like, oh, come on, man. And there's also one point where she ends up, like, she gets so excited, she starts punching Love Kun in the head and stuff like that. And it was actually pretty cool. Also, we see Daiji ends up using the jackal stamp on top of his, in his live form. So we actually see what that looks like. Well, now we're like in action, because we did see it in magazines and stuff and scans, but now we actually get to see it in action. And it's actually pretty freaking dope, because the jackal was all about the speed thing, so that was actually pretty cool. And we get the return of the big turtle, of Sakura's big turtle cannon. She ends up using that. We also see the return of almost every form that Iki has turned into in this series. We see him turn into every form he's used, every remix, summoning remixes and stuff. They're going all out against Chameleon. Because Chameleon is one of those higher up dead men. He's at the point of no return right now, so he can never turn human again. He actually says that, and they actually beat the ever-living snot out of this dude. They're using every form. They're using remixes, ultimate attacks, and everything. Brave Rex ultimate attack, all that stuff. And after they using, he's like, Iki tries to talk to him, and he says that it doesn't matter. Don't even try to talk to me. It's not like I can go back to being human anyway. So Iki makes the decision that, okay, I'm just going to destroy you. I have to destroy you. So he ended up using Brave Rex ultimate attack. And then he gets up. He turns back into his he turns back into the ex-commander, and then he turns into his real self. And it turns out his real self is kind of a dorky guy. And I don't want to call him ugly, but he was like a dorky, like generic, weird looking dude. And he cries, and he fades away, just like the other two, just like the Kudo, the lawyer, and the cult guy. when they got destroyed and they faded away. So he does the same thing they did. So I guess that energy is gonna go inside of GIF. Most likely, I feel like the more dead men, I guess higher ranking phase 2 dead men, phase 2 maybe phase 3 dead men, every time they die, it's going to send more energy to GIF eventually until like he breaks free of that. I'm thinking that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, so after he's gone, they actually go back home, have their dinner, stuff like that, and then we see George. After Hiromi leaves, we see that one of the physicians, the doctors, she comes into the office with George, and she asks where Hiromi is, and he's like, "Oh, he's out right now. What's up?" And she shows him the X-rays from Ginta, who is Iki and them dad, and he looks at it and he sees that Iki's dad doesn't have a heart. It was like, what? Iki's dad didn't have a heart. So, and it pans back to the family having their dinner and stuff like that. He's acting like his regular self or whatever. But yeah, Iki's dad didn't have a heart. But earlier in the episode, we saw that the GIF statue had a heartbeat. So what the hell is going on there? I can't even think about what's actually going on with that. I don't even want to think about that. I don't want us to be like GIF is gonna possess their dad or something like that, or GIF has their dad's heart or something like that, and that's the reason why they all three have demons or something. Like, I don't understand. I don't know what's happening with that. That stumped me. I was like, what is happening? But other than that, though, we see Sakura. She remembers that she got invited to come to that other family's house for something, and she goes and she hears the son's voice on the intercom telling her to come in, and she comes in and no one's there. Like, no one is there. And we get like this alien music, kind of that old style want want kind of alien music playing in the background. And she's going down and she sees like the stairway to the basement, and there's like this green light coming off of there, right? And she gets ready to go down there, and that's where the episode ends. And then next week's episode, we're going to get the debut of Iki's brand new form, all freaking ready. Like, we just got Braid Rex, yo. We just got Braid Rex. I'm still not even used to this freaking form yet. It's only been here maybe like 2-3 episodes. Yeah, like what, 3 episodes? This episode counts as the third, technically. Yeah, this episode counts as the third. So it's like it has its debut episode, and then the next 2 episodes after that. It's only been here like 2 episodes. Like, what is happening? Like, we haven't even got used to this form yet. So yeah, but we're getting the debut of his new form, the purple and gold form, which the name escapes me right now, but this form looks absolutely freaking dope. If you don't follow scans and stuff like that, you're gonna like this form. It looks really cool. But I follow scans to a degree. Thank you, Instagram gods. But other than that, this is a great episode, yo. A lot of foreshadowing, a lot of things going on. It didn't really feel rushed all that much. I was so into the episode that when she got ready to go down into that basement, I was like, oh man, that's where the episode ends, stuff like that. And also, we are done with all the dead men. We are back to the original 3 dead men right now, and they're not getting along right now. And I really feel like Ortega is going to be pissed off. Really feel like Ortega is going to be pissed off that Chameleon is gone, and that was like his only help. So now it's just him, and I do feel like the main 3 are gonna have some kind, maybe a conversation or something like that, or Ortega's gonna probably propose to work with them to get a gift statue back or something like that, because that is something that they're actually planning on doing. And now that Aguilera actually has like some power now, she has a demon form now that she's practicing and learning how to use. I feel like they will eventually just team up and maybe try and infiltrate Phoenix to get that GIF statue back. But other than that, this is a great episode, man. It was pretty freaking cool. We got to see the return of like almost of just about every form that Revice has. Pulling out all the stops against Chameleon. I knew Chameleon was gonna die in this episode. Like I knew it. The way that they were fighting him, he had to die. Like the way that they were actually trying to take this guy out, like he was gonna die. And we got to see what his actual body and stuff like it looks like. I mean, also part of me kind of hates. I kind of hate that he's gone, because he's such an interesting character, and there's so much he can do with his powers. You know, that I feel like there could have been a lot more done with him, because he was a chameleon. He could transform into you, and he could sound like you, look like you, and everything. And that's a really dangerous power for an enemy to have, especially, you know, in this kind of series where it's all about family stuff like that. Like I thought him turning into their mom thing was gonna last a lot longer, at least to the maybe to the end of the episode or something like that, and then this ambush could happen, you know. But hey, it is what it is. But other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about episode 16 of Kamen Revice. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and peace out, everybody. And remember, stay henshined.